What's up, YouTube fans? Today, we're going to take a look at the X-Transbots Dig Pig, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale scoop. So I got this from Brian W. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. And this is a repaint and retool of their version of Scrapper, which we looked at on this channel. I actually thought it was a really good figure from X-Trans. It was one of their best. So I was happy to take a look at this one. And there is some retooling. Now, we'll check and see if we can still get into combine mode, but it doesn't come with the combine mode parts because this is not part of a combiner. It is part of a series of 3 figures. So we're also going to be getting Landfill and Quick Mix from X-Transbots eventually. They did show, I think, a render of the Landfill. And I'm not sure about Quick Mix. I had to go back and look. But this is the first in the series of 3. He does come with the Target Masters like the others. These appear to be new Target Masters. I think they're new molds, so that's cool. Really nicely painted all throughout. So let's take a look at the figure first. Got some beautiful metallic yellow, fluorescent green, silver for the paint, for the face, metallic orange, metallic blue, metallic silver, die-cast thighs with metallic yellow, rubber tires with die-cast wheels, more metallic blue down here, die-cast feet and heels. Here's the back. Out of packaging, you may need to lock this in. So if you unpeg this, there's 2 little pegs on the back of this canopy piece that will plug in to this and kind of solidify the whole backpack so nothing moves around. So that's how you want it locked in. I do believe this is a mold change from the original. I'll bring in a picture of the original so you can see, but I believe it's different back here. But overall, it's a very good looking version of Scoop. Let's go over the articulation. Head is on a rotating swivel, goes up to there, down to there, rotates around. It is on a peg. I do worry about these pegs, swapping the head back and forth. This one seemed to be okay compared to the Bone Crusher. I didn't have an issue, but I do worry about it. Shoulders right around a nice ratchet joint, really well toleranced, ratcheted out to the side as well. Rotation at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow, get to the full bend. You can bend the top one first and then you can get it. So you get the full bend. Butterfly joint here, this does tab in there, but you can untab it and get the butterfly joint, so that's pretty good. For the hands, you have a rotation at the wrist. You have an in and out movement at the wrist, gets you out to there. You have individually articulated fingers. The bottom 3 are connected, but he can point, so it does work. Thumb is on a hinge, swivels out to the side, and then 2 pins. I'm not a big fan of that lower joint for the hand. It never really worked great, but now that I know it's there, I know how to operate it. I think on the original, the first one they did, I think it was their long haul, I ended up breaking the thumb. But now they've all been done that way, so I'm kind of used to it. Going to the waist, you have waist rotation on a ratchet. That works well. Ab crunch, get you right there. So nice tolerance there as well. That has a little bit of resistance. So it's not just loose. So that works well. Hip skirts, you can move out of the way on the front, back, and sides. Legs will kick up to there. Back to there. Out to the side on friction. It does hold, even with all the die cast in there. Double jointed knee, full bend. Ankle tilts. It's really a toe tilt and a heel tilt that are independent, but you can tilt both. But it does work. And you get a forward and backward out of this foot as well. As far as accessories, of course, we get his Target Masters, Hole Punch, and Tracer. And they're painted really nicely, so we'll just do each one individually. He's got yellow paint, metallic, same paint as this guy, metallic orange, metallic blue. Face is painted as well. I believe these are new molds. Articulation-wise, head can rotate. Shoulders can rotate on a hinge and a ball joint. You get a reverse butterfly, a little bit of butterfly out of that. Bend at the elbow gets you past 90 degrees. Let me see, do these? I think they just rotate. They don't really go out to the side. Oh no, they do. They do. It's not a lot. It goes up to there. So don't go past there. You'll end up breaking it. Nothing at the waist. Legs will kick up to there. They're on ball joints at the thigh. I have popped them off the ball joint, so just be cautious with that. Goes out to there. You have a bend at the knee. Gets you a little past 90 or about 90. Feet are on a hinge, so it goes side to side. And it goes back and forth on a hinge as well. So pretty nice articulation for these little guys here. And to get this guy transformed, we're going to come to the back here. We'll open this up, fold this down. We're going to come to the front. We're going to flip the head around, close up this. I do have a feeling that maybe this is upside down because the screw holes are on the top, but not my figure, so I'm not gonna mess with it. Bring the arms in. They'll tab together right here in the middle. Like that. For the legs, you're gonna bring them back. There's a little slot right here on the inner shin. And it's gonna peg into here. The first time I did it, it was a really tight fit. So just be careful with that. You might be scraping some paint there, but it does fit in like that. And then the feet are supposed to sit back like this. My personal preference, I think it looks better folded all the way back. But, you know, it's an option. And yeah, it does have a tab here. So put it in the hand. We can open up the fingers and get this tabbed in. All right, there we go. It's not the best fit. Honestly, I had to fiddle with it. And one of the issues is this is colliding with the back of his arm. So it just doesn't quite fit there. So you can't put the finger straight. You have to kind of hold it slightly tilted to the side. But there you go. There's his gun. This guy is basically the same, you know, obviously different paint colors, but same articulation and everything, same transformation. So there's the gun, and I'll put that in the other hand so you can see what it looks like. All right, there you go. There is both Target Masters in there. They do look good. I definitely figured out why this one collides, because the knee pad sticks out. This one is kind of flat, so you can see it's not colliding. So that's why this one has a little bit of issue. But you can hold them both, and it does look good. We can also combine these. So if we take this one out of the hand after all that effort we took to put it in, we can come to the top here. You'll see there's a little peg, and that's going to plug in right here. There's a little piece right here that will go in when you compress it. It might have trouble coming back out, so just be aware of that. It is a painted surface, but that little center piece goes inwards as you press it down on this tab. Oh, and you also have to straighten out these feet if you bent it like I did. Right, so get that lined up and tabbed in. And now you have this bigger gun, and it should still be able to tab into the hand, since the blue one is a little bit easier to tab in. But there you go. There he is with the double Target Master. That looks good. You know, that's a nice effect there. I do worry about that little indentation, the trap door not going back in, but that does work. All right, the other accessory we get is an alternate head. I do worry again about this, but if you hold down this panel right here and gently pull up on this, you can remove this. You can see there's a little bit of yellow plastic from in here. But I feel more confident with this one than I did with the Bone Crusher, because that one was very thin. But there's the alternate head. I think I like this one better, but it's nice to have the choice, the options on this guy. For size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Nice big robot mode, fits in nicely with the Masterpiece scale. And for another comparison, there it is next to the Fans Toys version of Scrapper. And over here, I'll put an image of the X-Transbots Scrapper. And you can see they've retooled it quite a bit. The chest plate, for one, is completely remolded. The head completely retooled, or new. Gun, obviously brand new, the Target Masters. So, you know, you got quite a bit that they've changed around here. I think the legs are the same. Looks like this panel right here might be different. I believe also the canopy back here is slightly different. And we'll see that when we get to the vehicle mode. But they have made some changes here with the... All right, now let's get this guy transformed into vehicle mode. And it is basically the same transformation as the original, a couple little exceptions. I'll show you those. But also the combined mode parts that were there on the first one are no longer there. Some of the hardware that was needed is not there anymore. But let's start on the arms. Go ahead and lift up the arm. Actually, I just wanted to mention this panel is still here. I think I missed it in my original review. There's like a little panel. There's no paint or anything on there, but it's supposed to be a display panel. But we're going to lift up on this to get that folded out of the way. We're going to fold down this panel, flip the hand over. Make sure it's folded up into a fist like this. Fold this in, and then fold that back over the top. Rotate the arm to the outside, and then collapse this down all the way so it's flush like this. All right, and then let that sit to the side. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, now that we have both arms taken care of, we can take care of the upper body. Go ahead and rotate the head 180 degrees. Come to the back here. We're going to unclip these tabs on the side that's holding the shovel in place. Make sure those open all the way up. Come to the back here. We're going to unpeg this canopy from here. And we're going to slide this out. This is on two sliders here. You kind of have to pull them together out until they click into place, or hear it click. Then you can fold this down once you click that into place. Open up the arms on their butterfly joints. That will release this. So I can fold this back. And we can straighten up the shovel. And there's a small tab right in here, so you can just clip that in on both sides. All right. Straighten that up and just leave that right like that for now. We'll take care of the rest of the body. So come to here, and if you may need a spudger or something to get in here, but basically you're going to separate this panel right here. There we go. So you can open this up, rotate the head in, and there's two pegs right here going to two slots on here. Bend the ab crunch, and then you'll bring this down and tab it in. All right. You can close these back up. Bring this forward. You can bend it right there. And make sure these stay down. You don't want those re-engaged. And just leave this like this. You want to leave the ab crunch bent for now. We can fold this up and fold this forward. We're going to put that in place a little bit later. But let's work on the back here. So open up this seat. Open up these little controllers right there. Right here, you're going to flip this open, fold the steering wheel back, and then there's a tab on the top of the steering wheel that this will tab back into. So that makes kind of the cockpit right there. Now we'll work on these, and this is where I had an issue last time. Now I know how it works, so no issue. But fold this back, come to the inside here. You're going to fold the toe up, fold the heel down. That'll sit right in the toe. There's a little ridge to get that back out when you need it. We're going to unpeg this from right here. It's tabbed in there. And then we can fold this out. It's also tabbed in down here. And we can rotate this to the outside. Open up this. Fold that in. This will fold to the outside. Can open up this. And now I'll take care of this. Take your toe, rotate this in. On the old one, by the way, here's a change. you would push this through right here, this piece. You push it up and out, and then you'd flip over the smokestack. There is no smokestack on this one. In fact, this one is locked in place, so you can't do that anymore. So rotate your toe in, and then you're going to open up that tab and this tab right there. And then we're going to bend at this lower joint. So rotate this all the way around. This will end up on the back. And make sure that this panel opens up. There's a tab on the bottom that's going into a slot on the rear hip skirt. So we're going to line this up, bring that down so it sits flush like that. On the back here, we'll bring this panel up. This will tab in right here. Tab right there, slot right there. So bring this up, tab that in, and then push this into the back. Sits like that. For this, we're going to open up this, fold this down flat, and we're going to end up getting this into this slot right here, but leave that off for now because we want a little bit of wiggle room on this part. All right, so that's one leg done. Go ahead and do the other leg. I'm going to do it off camera. I'll show you how to put them together. All right, now that we got both legs done, we can kind of squeeze this together. There's a couple tabs up here, and there's a couple tabs inside. So give that a squeeze. And make sure all those tabs make their way in. On the front here, these two are going to peg in to the rear hip skirts. And on the bottom, these will make their way down into here. So just line those up, get those tabbed in. These are die cast, so it can scratch up the paint, just be careful. Open up these bottom hip skirts. They should straighten up with this front panel here. So it looks like that. And now we'll take care of this. These arms actually are going to come back and sit in here. But before we do the arms, we want to bring this down. So bring this back, fold this up. There's two tabs on each side, one tab on each side. You're going to bring this back. It has to kind of squeeze back here. This is a different transformation than the original. This has to fit right in here. And it's a little tight, honestly. It's a tight fit. But you can get it. Push that in on both sides. Then this will come back and clip into here. Here and here. And then we can take the arm and put the side tab in first. Then put this bottom tab in. So get that in and then line this up and get that in. All right. So side, same thing. Rotate that in, get the side tab in, and then get the bottom tab in. Fix your tire here. Rotate this all the way around. There's actually a stopping point right here. Same on this one. Brings it all the way around. Stopping point there. And we're looking pretty good. And then you can adjust the shovel so it sits nice and flat. All right, and there is Dig Pig in vehicle mode. And it looks really good. This is a really nice choice for this figure. You got some red taillights here, blue up here for these vents. Nice black paint here, glossy black paint for the armatures, and then the rest is this metallic orange. Nice rubber tires with die-cast wheels. Rolls beautifully. The cockpit is different. They've changed all this, so this entire thing is new. It didn't have a glass before. It didn't have the rearview mirrors here. It just looks completely different. And it's very nice. It does have an interior. You could probably put a little spike in there or something, but yeah, it looks great. There's no doors, so you'd have to put it in before you close it, before you transform it. But it does have the steering wheels and controls. You can lift up here. Make sure you have these unlocked on both sides, otherwise you won't be able to do this. But lift this up on a ratchet. It goes all the way back to there, down to there. You can swing at this joint here, and then the shovel itself can extend in and out on this this piston sliding joint there. So some nice movement on the shovel. Now we can mount the target masters here on the side. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. One, you can use this slot right here and plug it in like that, which I think looks pretty good. You can also plug it in here. It's a little bit tight, but you can pick it in on this top part here, so you can have it like that. It doesn't fit as well, so I prefer to put it here, but you have the options. That's pretty cool. You can have kind of the G1 look for his toy. For size comparison, there it is next to the MP10 Optimus Prime, and fits in nicely in the Masterpiece scale. Nice big truck mode. And these alt modes from X-Transbots have been really good so far. And just for fun, since I don't have my Fans Toys Scrapper transformed, here it is next to the Fans Toys version of Scavenger. All of them have been bigger, the Fans Toys, but just to give you a sense of size. All right, for those wondering, there is no more combined mode hardware. So for example, in arms, normally you would unplug this and you'd slide the arm down for combined mode. There's no more slider. So there is no combined mode for this figure. So final recommendations on the X-Transbots Dig Pig. I think this is pretty cool. I'm going to give this a 4 to 5. I'll recommend it. As a design, I think this is one of their better figures overall. And I said that when the Scrapper came out, even though I had an issue, I think it's really a well-designed figure. Looks really good. It's a great use of the mold, this retool. And they didn't just repaint it. They gave you a new head, new target masters, both of them. They do combine. That's cool. New chest plate and new feet pieces on the feet here. So yeah, I mean, it's very well used. It's a good mold. Also, I think people are excited to get these characters. Nobody's going to make these, the Quick Mix and Landfill. I don't think anybody's going to attempt to make those. So I'm sure there are people who are happy to get these. I know Dr. Diecast is getting one of these just because nobody else is going to produce it. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Brian W. We'll see you next time.